So you don't believe you're under investigation by Attorney General Call at this moment?
No, I do not.
New reaction tonight to a 12 News exclusive. One of Wisconsin's so-called fake electors sharing his side of what happened after the 2020 presidential election. 12 News political director Matt Smith is live in the newsroom. Matt, the Attorney General is responding tonight to Sunday's interview on Upfront.
Patrick, all this amidst reports the State Department of Justice has launched its own investigation into the meeting, and documents Wisconsin electors now admit were now used as part of a larger scheme to overturn the results of the 2020 election. The new details of that day unveiled right here.
From your perspective, are you under investigation by the state?
No, I don't believe I am.
Andrew Hitt, the former chair of the Republican Party of Wisconsin and a 2020 Republican elector, exclusively sharing his story Sunday on Upfront.
We were tricked. We weren't made aware of any ulterior motive or scheme.
He told us that you, the state DOJ, are not looking into the electors themselves. Is that an accurate statement?
Well, again, we're not going to comment on anything that the Wisconsin Department of Justice is up to in this respect. It's my view that anybody who committed a crime with the goal of overturning the results of an election should be held accountable. There are obviously efforts going on at the federal level and in some states. But as for Wisconsin DOJ, we generally don't confirm or deny the existence of investigations.
Hitt says he is cooperating with federal investigators and special counsel Jack Smith's office, which has indicted former President Trump on charges related to January 6th and a plot to overturn the election. Hitt taking us inside that day when the Republican electors privately met, signing documents claiming Trump won Wisconsin when he didn't.
In the Supreme Court brief, the Trump campaign said, we've asked the Wisconsin electors to meet and to send their paperwork to Washington. That went to the Wisconsin Elections Commission. Obviously, the Department of Justice saw it. It's important to know nobody raised a red flag. Our lawyers didn't. WEC knew we were going to meet. The Department of Justice knew we were going to meet.
So today, we asked the Attorney General.
And I don't want to comment on anything that might be relevant to potential investigations.
Even about whether you knew the meeting happened?
At this point, we're not going to weigh in on anything that may be relevant to potential investigation.
Matt, another Republican elector is facing scrutiny tonight. Some Democrats are calling on Bob Spindell to be removed from the Wisconsin Elections Commission.
A move that appears unlikely at this moment, Patrick. The calls coming from those including Wisconsin's Secretary of State, who told us Sunday she is not ruling out a lawsuit to force that removal. Both those exclusive newsmaking interviews right now in the Upfront section of the 12 News app.